friends, Kim from Stamping Imperfection. Thank you for joining me. I'm here with a video for the 3-Room Studio Saturday Sketch Challenge. And here you can see the sketch. It's got a nice rectangle with a circular element and a little square kind of piece underneath it. It's a horizontal orientation, and this is the card I shared on the Instagram hop last week, and if I turn this sketch sideways, it kind of works with that card I made last week. So I thought that was kind of cool. For this sketch, I'm going to use the new Hello Friends stamp set from 3-Room Studio. I'm going to use the Stamp and Die set, and I picked one of there's 2 women stamps, a set of like jazzy hands waving, and a bunch of sentiments that you can build and create your own sentiment for whoever you're sending this to. So I'm just starting by stamping the woman, the hello, the big hello, and the word friend, because the die set that you can purchase with this comes with dies to cut out those large word sentiments. So I love that because you can do a lot more with them. You can give them dimension, stack them together. You can layer them so that one layer shows below the other, almost like a drop shadow effect. I decided that for the rectangular element on this card, I wanted to do a watercolor wash. So I pulled out some new watercolors that I got just to play with them. And I want to make a rainbow watercolor wash. So I'm adding some water to a piece of watercolor paper, and then I'm using a wide flat brush to just add my stripes. So I always start out with the yellow because the red should blend with that to give me orange, and the blue should blend with that to give me some green. However, they're not blending that well today because I'm working really fast, but honestly, the dehumidifier is drying it almost as fast as I'm working. So I'm sort of mixing my own green and orange and adding them where I need them to be. And then I like the way this turned out. I will use this for something. However, it was a little wide for the sketch, so I decided to make a second one. I put that one aside to dry, and I decided to make a second one, but the second time I decided I would use my large round brush to keep the stripes narrower. So I started a little higher with the yellow stripe, and I just repeated the same process. So I got some orange in there and kind of mixed it on the card. I just kept adding more water where I needed it. And I was much happier with the second result. I love watercolor washes for card backgrounds because I love the randomness of watercolor, and I love how you get some dark spots and light spots, and I just really like it. My sister doesn't like it at all. Like, some people don't like it because they think it looks messy. I think that's what I like about it. I also like that I don't really have any control or a lot of control over what the water helps the paint do, or how the paints play together. So I really like that. So now I wanted to do a little stencil technique with the watercolors, using a stencil I have in my stash. And I put this blue on because, first of all, I love this blue. This is a gorgeous color. And I'm using this broken glass stencil, and it didn't quite work out on that piece. I didn't have enough water, and I don't know what happened with that first stroke. It just didn't work out. So I pulled out another piece of watercolor paper. I've got lots of scraps of watercolor paper. So I pulled out another piece, and this one's smaller and more in line with the size of the piece I need anyway. So I put way more water on, and then I decided to do blue and purple. And I put my stencil down, and this needs to be nice and wet. So I squirted it some more, dabbed up what was in between, pulled the stencil off, and then you put that aside to let it dry. And so now I'm going to color my woman here. And I'm experimenting with new skin and hair combinations. So this is E4, and This is a color combination I got from Mindy Beverly, who makes the most gorgeous humans. She's just a fantastic colorist. And like, she's just a beautiful colorist. And this was one of the combinations she suggested. So I used E11 to blend out the E04, and then E21 to blend out the E11, and I kind of flicked that toward the center of the face, and I left some white space where I could use E00, and I even left enough white space to use E000, which I impressed myself. And I actually was happy with this. I find light skin tones much harder than darker skin tones, so I have to really practice these. So I also decided I would give her a red lip and a blue eye. So I just pulled whatever, I think this is R24 and B37 maybe. But they were just sitting on my desk. I just grabbed them, and I have some browns. I really like this E35 color. It's like a caramel color. So I used it to flick in some color at the bottom of the hair and at the top where her part is. And I was sort of trying to follow the lines the artist put in. And then I used E21 to fill in between the two sets of flicks. I pulled out E39 and added some darker strokes where I had put the E35. And again, I'm sort of blending the center with E31. And then I pulled out a really dark E49 and added a few of those strokes. And next time I do this, I'm going to try adding less strokes with E39 so that the strokes I do add are very distinct. Because I really like the way the hair looks when you can see the darker color in a few spots. I feel like it gives the hair a lot of texture. So I'm playing with B39, B37, B34, and B32 here. And I always start with my darker colors just because that's the coloring classes I took, that's what the instructor did. And I've tried starting from light to dark like some people do. And I like this better. This works for me. And you definitely have to try all the different things because everybody teaches it a different way, and see what you like best, what works best for you. And I'm really working on keeping the dark spots dark and not washing them out with the lighter colors. So that's my goal here. And I'm trying to keep those dark shadow spots so you can see, so there's more dimension to my image. Like you can see the curves that she has. And so, I'm a work in progress, and I really like watercoloring and Copic coloring, or whatever alcohol markers I have in my hand. I just find it so relaxing, and I love being able to experiment. So I pulled out some cool grays, C10, C8, C6, C4, C2, and just did her pants, although I'll probably be die cutting that off because I'm not gonna cut her. There's a coordinating die to cut her out, but I want her to be on my circle, and I'm just gonna use the circle to cut her out. So I am gonna use a coordinating die for that hello though. So I will go ahead and die cut these out now. So, excuse me. I know I'm out of the view right now, and I apologize for that. You'll be able to see this in a minute though. I have a nice set of circle dies that have a stitched element around the outside. I love them, and I'm so glad I got them when I first saw them because it's been hard to find the stitched shape dies, I think. So I'm happy to have at least the circles. And you can see how beautifully that coordinating hello die fits. So I'll just die cut these out. Now I have all my pieces cut out, and I pull out my nice and dry watercolor pieces, and I'm realizing that piece I made with the stencil is going to be way too big, so I need to cut it down. So I'm kind of fussing around trying to decide do I want to keep blue and purple? Do I just want to make it purple? Do I just want to make it blue? So instead I cut out my friend sentiment, and I think I'm just going to keep the purple. I don't have any purple on the card, and I would like to have some purple on the card. So I'm going to add that, and that will complete this sketch, really. Like, those are the elements in the sketch. I'll add my sentiments, and I am going to pop that hello up on some foam tape, just because I like to have some dimension on my card. And I will end up deciding that I don't like the friend sentiment cut out, so I'll put that stamp sentiment in my cup that I have on my desk and use it on another project. And for now, I'm just going to add the background panel onto my card base, which is cut at 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. The fold will go toward the top, and I'll put my front panel down. I love using double-sided tape to stick my panels down because they stick forever. The problem is they stick forever, so the moment that adhesive touches the paper, it's stuck forever. So you really want to be careful as you're putting it on that you get it just exactly where you want it the first moment it touches the paper. So I'm using some liquid adhesive on the back of this piece because I want some wiggle room, and that liquid adhesive gives me lots of wiggle room. And again, I'll cut some foam tape down and put it on this hello. So the hello will have some dimension. I like a little dimension on a card. I don't like too much because I do like to mail my cards to people, and I don't want to have to pay extra postage to send a card. And hopefully the people who get them like them. I know my mother hangs hers on the refrigerator still, so there you go. I still love having my stuff hanging on Mom's refrigerator. You're never too old for that. So I stamped the hello on the purple panel, and I added a few of these crown jewel gems in Vegas strip. It's a blue, and it's my favorite one. I'm actually going to put 5 of these on. So I felt like this wasn't complete, and I wanted to add something else. So I let this sit for a day, and then I went ahead and stamped the hand stamps on the rainbow, and I'm going to show that at the end. I would love to know what you think of that. Which card do you like best, with the hands or without? So I'll put the link to the challenge below. We would love to have you join us. I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up, and if you subscribe to my channel while you're here. And I'm so happy that you watched the video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, friends.